let's take Title IX for an example, or because I'm not as familiar with what is happening in Ontario. I think that for decades that people would say that there probably was a problem with sexual assault on college campuses, and that as an attempt to remediate this,
what's the problem of sexual assault on campus? We can't even have an intelligent discussion about that.
Well, I think that perhaps the problem would be that women get raped quite a bit in colleges. Like, do you feel like that's a problem? Or
I don't think that that's a very good way of stating the problem.
I don't know how to more clearly state the problem, which is that
the problem is that sexual behavior in young people is complex and dysregulated and often fueled by alcohol. And so all sorts of things happen that people regret and don't like. And we have no idea what to do about it. And so we're setting up a parallel judicial system to deal with it in a manner that's going to make it far worse.
Well, how does it make it worse, though? Because this is the other thing. I would agree with you that a lot of times that these sorts of sort of administrative or judicial things that are created do have a lot of collateral damage, and that they're
all collateral damage.
But at the same time, it does sort of trigger people into thinking about things perhaps differently. It perhaps might scare some people into not pursuing some of these actions, and that if the incident of something that we agree that goes down, so for example, regrettable sexual encounters, or even this idea of inequality that you have, if it does go down by effect, right? Like, why is the collateral damage the only thing that you seem to focus on then?
The collateral damage won't end. We're transforming the universities into quasi-judicial enterprises. They don't have the expertise for it. It's hard to set up a court system. It's really, really, really hard. And to set up a new one by proxy, where no one has any delineated rights of defense, for example, where you use preponderance of evidence, and where people are enabled to go on witch hunts, it's like, that's not going to make anything better. It's not going to make anything better at all. And we're not addressing the issue. We're not addressing the issue at all. I mean, one of the issues is that people get drunk on college campuses. Drunk people do stupid things. Like 50% of people who are killed are drunk. 50% of people who do the murdering are drunk. The same thing happens with unfortunate sexual encounters. Then you ask yourself, well, why do people drink? Well, why do people drink?
I don't think we need to get there. I mean, would you?
Well, we do, because that's a huge part of what's contributing to the problem.
Would you just mandate end to alcohol on college campuses?
No.
Do you feel like that is a better solution? Because that
seems malice itself. I would at least say that would start to address the actual problem. We're not trying to address the problem. We're operating sequential witch hunts to make what the prosecutors of the witch hunts feel like they're moral. That's what we're doing. We're not solving the problem. We're not addressing the issue. We're not having an adult conversation about this. Here, the adult conversation would be, how should young people regulate their sexual behavior? Well, there's a start. It's like,
do you really think that conversation is never happening?
I don't think it's happened properly. No, I don't think it's happened properly since the invention of the birth control pill.
But you don't feel like people that, I mean, I'm sure that you as well, I think everyone in this room went to like some form of sexual education. I mean, is it is that not a
What'd you
conversation?
Learn?
Not to get STDs.
Well, yeah, sure. Well, that's what you learn. Yeah, you learn. Sure, that's what you learn. How many dates should you go on before you have sex?
Well, look, I mean, I don't know.
Right. Neither does anyone else.
Do you have an answer?
How about not one?
No.
Yeah, one is the wrong number. We could start with that.
I fail to see the connection between that and the sexual assault issue on campuses.
Well, there's
do you really feel like if you mandated, right, and if you suggested as a clinician, wait till date 4, that the sexual assault problem on campuses would be changed?
Yeah.
How?
I would say, well, wait till date 4 and try not to drink too much in the first 3. That'd be a start. It's like, you don't want to get yourself in trouble. I mean, I counsel women all the time about how not to get themselves in trouble. Men as well, how to regulate their behavior properly. It's like, there's all sorts of things that you shouldn't do. For example, let's say that I'm counseling someone to start a relationship online, because it's hard for people to start online relationships. It's like, okay, well, you're going to have a first date. Where do you have it? You have it in a coffee shop in the middle of the day, right? Why? Well, why do you think? It's safe, and there's other people around. It's like, you go there, maybe you have a phone call first, just see if the person isn't completely out of their mind. Then you have a date in a coffee shop where there's lots of other people around. You talk for 15 or 20 minutes, and you check each other out a little bit. You do this sequentially and with caution.
That seems like a vision of the world that, I mean, and this is actually reflected in a lot of your work. I don't think you would shy from this description. I mean, it seems like a very dark vision of the world.
It is a very dark vision of the world.
And that your solution to it is to sort of
My
prescript people's
solution
behaviors,
is to
like
wake up and grow
go on
up.
a coffee shop date. Like,
Yeah.
Don't go to a bar the first time you go on a date.
Right.
Wait till date 4 to have sex. I mean,
No,
like, that
at
seems,
least wait till date 4.
At least wait
Here's
till
another
date 4.
rule
How-
of thumb.
how is this not-
Don't engage in any physical interactions with anyone that you wouldn't talk to them about beforehand.
how is this not more sort of prescriptive and, like, as you would say, Maoist than sort of, being like,
it's not
hey,
Maoist.
let's just watch what we say.
It's not Maoist by any stretch of the imagination, but it is prescriptive.
Sure,
But it's not
prescriptive and
mandatory.
controlling
It's
of
not
people's-
mandatory.
It's not mandatory.
No,
And
it's
so
voluntary.
how-
That's the difference.
So then let's work within
If you
your-
want to go on, if you want to have sex on the first date, man, like go right ahead. It's no problem. I'm just saying
that
it's not a
isn't
very
really
good
what you just
idea.
said before, though. You just said that was contributing this sort of
It is.
problem.
It is
On-
contributing to it
Okay, so
because
then
people treat sex like it's casual.
within your context,
not.
let's use your context then, right? You have decided as an empathetic person that you would like to change the culture of sex on college campuses and drinking.
I wouldn't say that I decided as an empathetic person.
Or no,
I didn't
let's
say
say that not you. Let's say a person is trying to change this culture, and they agree with you completely. They believe that these things will help solve it. How do they get people to start acting in that sort of way without mandating any behavior?
They persuade them with reasonable arguments. That's what I'm doing online. I mean, I've talked to young men about pornography, for example. There isn't anything good about pornography. Stop using it. It's not helpful. It's a distraction, a dangerous distraction. It's like if you want to use it, go right ahead, but you're going to pay for it. So if you want to pay for it, go ahead, but it's a bad idea. Casual sex is a bad idea, obviously. Since the 1960s, what have we wanted to do? Every form of sexual expression under any circumstance whatsoever is acceptable and even desirable. But nothing untoward can ever happen. It's like, okay, good. Good luck with that theory. Sex is weird, it's unbelievably complicated. It's dangerous. It involves emotions. It involves pregnancy. It involves illness. It involves betrayal. It reaches right down into the roots of someone. You don't play with something like that casually. Well, you can, but you'll pay for it. It's not casual. There's no such thing as casual sex. It's the delusion of Hugh Hefner. So that's why we're in this situation.